another very big game coming up. Leicester could be 9 points from safety by the time you play the game. I was just wondering, with the international break to follow, do you think that these players, that the fans are going to need a lift, going to need something positive to take into that if you're going to stay up?
I think a positive result would do us really good. That is very clear. It's what we're working for. It is what we took from the Chelsea game as well. It's what we worked on this week, to develop again the structures that we put in place, and the players filled in a great way. So we were able to build on that and bring it into Sunday's game. And of course, with the break after that, we realized that it could give a great boost, to get a positive result.
And obviously Manchester United, the opposition, you were actually in charge of them for the reverse fixture in November. I was kind of surprised that you're only 4 points off the top three at that point. Are you surprised that the players, knowing the players as you do, are you surprised that they've struggled as much as they have since then?
The Man United you're talking about? No, I can refer on the games that I was able to manage for United. The one in the League Cup against Leicester, and one in the league, of course. And then coming in here in December, and then the focus of course is fully on this squad. The cup game was also a good game. I think we did really well. We were we lost the game with an unbelievable offside decision. We felt we were in that game to go to the next round. So in that sense, we take a positive from our last game against United. I guess the other two games that weren't positives. It was a 4-1 and a 3-0 to United. But the last one was a positive, and we can bring that also into Sunday's game.
Ruud, hi. Just on that same theme, 3 games that Leicester have played against United this season, 3 defeats. What have you seen maybe this week, or in your analysis of this game? What have you seen that makes you think you can turn that kind of performance around and beat them this time?
I think it's important to realize that we played the cup game away not so long ago. I think United is in a better place than at the time that we played them in the cup. They had a very good game against Arsenal, and yesterday they were very strong. Obviously, a great boost that they're in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. That's a great boost for them. Good win yesterday. Bruno in great form, scoring a hat-trick and an important free kick, obviously, against Arsenal. So very decisive in that team. So it's a team that I think got some momentum going, especially after yesterday, positive in the quarterfinal of the European Cup. So it's definitely a team that is in a better place than when we played them in the FA Cup.
What about your position? Are you better placed than you were? The form suggests not.
I think results-wise, no, we're not in a better place than when we played them in the cup. I think the recent game against Chelsea and the change of structures was a positive. The performance against Chelsea. And it's something that we want to build on, something that we want to develop more and do better in a home game on Sunday. I felt the away support was unbelievable and helped us a lot at the Chelsea game. I think it's also good to emphasize that we as a manager, and also I think the squad and the players realize that there's obviously some sections that sometimes go against the team when things are tough, but there's definitely a big section in among our own fans that is supporting us. We want to emphasize. I want to emphasize that they are there, and I think with our performance and you see what the reaction of the crowd is, and that's for us is key to bring that on the pitch on Sunday and get the crowd behind us.
So how do you do that? Because that's a big part of it. Obviously, the numbers are there for us all to see, 6 defeats in a row. The goals are dried up. It has to start with the players, doesn't it, to transmit the atmosphere that you're asking for.
That's what they did against Chelsea, and the away section was completely behind the team for the full 95 minutes because of that performance and that energy and the quality of play in general. And then you see that you can turn that around. But I also want to say that there has been fans always behind us. You know, of course, it's been mentioned. Okay, the Leicester crowd goes against their own team, which happens, and you can understand why. But there also has been large sections that always support us, also through the difficult moments, and we appreciate both. But we also want to mention the ones that keep supporting us.
With your reputation and your history as a goal scorer, the fact that your team, a team under your command, has stopped scoring goals, do you take that personally? Does that particularly concern you?
As a manager, you look at the general development of your team. Of course, the goals that we concede, we're looking for a clean sheet. It's one of our main targets. It's the structure. It's the foundation of a result. I think we looked really solid in the Chelsea game. We want to continue that. We're looking to get that clean sheet. It means a result, and build from there. So I'm as much focused on the centre backs and us defending as a unit and us attacking as a unit. So my history as player and the position that I played is out of that picture.
And finally, for me, with all the numbers stacking up as they are, and the players can read those stats just the same as everybody else, how difficult is it to get the psychology, the mental approach right? Because it would be very easy to look at that and feel very deflated before a ball is kicked.
Yeah, but with professional footballers, we work and are paid to be at our best every day. So the mental approach, yes, is important to keep your team motivated, to have a clear plan on how to approach the opponent in training sessions, in meetings. It's what we constantly keep doing and pushing and believing, and to get the maximum out of ourselves. And that's the way it should be. And we showed against Chelsea. We showed up. We were there. I think if you saw us playing and you don't know any context, then you would see a team. Okay, this is a proper team. This is competing with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and that is the impression that we want to leave behind, and definitely on Sunday.
I wish you luck for Sunday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Simon. Jason, from TalkSport.
Hey, very good to speak to you. I just want to follow up on some of the things that have been mentioned already. Clearly, the lack of goals at home, particularly, has been an issue with no Premier League goals since mid-December. I think it was mentioned about how you approach it as a manager, but mentally, as a full striker, as a manager, the group of players. How do you feel about the situation that you're in? And is it a big thing that you think about on a daily basis that we haven't scored at home in front of this crowd for months?
I wouldn't go into that particularly and blow that up. I think it's one of the things that we work on, of course. Also, as I said, the defensive performance. We are conceding too many goals. Is something you work on, and we try to improve. And as well, the goal scoring possibility, the chances we create and the chances we missed. We spoke about that before. You need some luck as well. You have a deflection on the crossbar, and the rebound is just not for Jamie in the Chelsea game. And it's also knowing from experience that I haven't scored every game. I've scored. I haven't scored I missed some chances. I didn't score for a couple of games. When you start scoring, you gain momentum and confidence, and the goals will come. and that is also a fact in football.
You say you're working on it, I'm assuming you're training. How do you work on something like that? It's such a huge barren spell.
Well, it's a collective thing, eh? So if you see against Chelsea that the build up from the keeper to the defenders and bringing the ball forward and getting in crossing positions and create possibilities for the players that can score goals, and we know specific qualities of Jamie or Patson or Wilf and Didi or Bilal El Kanoush or the wing backs. So and it's using them, but it's also as a team responsibility to bring them in the positions.
You talked about the good away following at Chelsea last weekend with the fans chanting throughout. Bit of a different story in the last home game against Brentford. Fans leading at 3-0, 4-0. It did look sparse towards the end of the game. What's your message to the fans then ahead of this home game in what's a huge fixture for the club?
No, it's up to us. It's up to us to show that we are bringing the Chelsea performance into the King Power Stadium in a great fixture against United, and we know that when we perform in that levels, that we will be supported, and that is what we're focusing on. And as I said, there are sections that there are people that leave because of disappointment and all of that. We have to respect that, and there are people staying and keep supporting us, and we also respect that in the same way. And it's up to us. That is my message.
Final one from me. What's been the message from the top of the club about recent results and the situation you're in? Is there still that willingness to fight throughout the club going into these final 10 games or so?
I think you know the answer to that question.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. It's Owen, ready, Leicester.
Hi, Ruud. Good to see you. I just wanted to check on the squad ahead of the game this weekend. Any fresh injuries at all?
Fully fit squad except Abdul Fattah.
Ricardo, of course, had his first appearance back against Chelsea last weekend. How did he come through that and again through training this week?
Really good. He came on. We changed the structure in the last 10 minutes to push for a goal even more. As an inverted fullback, his role in the midfield, he made us play forward, created some chances, difficult situations, dangerous situations from that play. So it's great to have him back. He's experienced. He's a great professional. He's an example for our team. So it's a great addition to have him back.
On the inverted fullback, we saw him play that role alongside Harry Winks a lot last season under Enzo Maresca. Is that where you see his best position, as that fullback who can come inside and affect the play? And how much of a system is that you would like to use? I know when we first spoke, you talked about the box midfield. Is that something that you'd like to use more between now and the end of the season?
No, of course it was a tactical change because of the result at the time in the Chelsea game, and I think it's an excellent possibility to use, and you can also use it from the start of the game. Depends also on the opponent. So with Ricardo, you have an addition and a tactical flexibility because of his qualities. He can also play a wing back in a 5. But he can also play in a 4, be inverted, and very good footballer, bringing the ball forward to the attacking players that we mentioned that we have to put in place to score.
We saw a change in shape last week, formation-wise. How have the players continued to adapt to that? I know you said that you were maybe a little bit surprised at how well they did adapt. Do they continue to surprise you this week?
Yeah, we were able to develop that, of course, and to take the Chelsea game and evaluate it. What went well? Where can we improve? We looked at it. Of course, we're looking at United over the coming days and prepare the game for us to to present ourselves in the best possible way, and that those structures are definitely part of the training session of the last week. Yeah.
One of the problems that you've had over the last few weeks is the amount of chances, big chances and goals that you have conceded. Some might wonder why a switch to a back three or a back five might not have come sooner. What was the reason why you waited until Chelsea to make that change?
Yeah, of course. When I didn't start in July with the pre-season and developing your team, get to know your team in pre-season, and then you look at your team in the best possible way and how to develop it. Of course, I came in the beginning of December. I came in and used the structures that the players knew, how I analyzed them as well, especially also in the United games. The 4-4-2 off the ball and the 3-box-3 on the ball. It's something that the players knew, that I knew, that I came in and wanted to develop. And when you come in and you start to develop something, you want to give that time. Then you start to look at different personnel to use within the structures, and of course, at a certain time you start to think about changing structures. And for me, the time was right before the Chelsea game.
And just finally on the game this weekend, I wonder what kind of tactical battle that you are expecting. Perhaps the expectation from outside is that it could be a 5-3-2 or a 3-5-2 as we saw against Chelsea, against a 3-4-3 from Manchester United. It could look quite interesting tactically.
Yeah, sure. And it was the same against Chelsea. It was very interesting tactically. Also to change certain things at certain times in the game. It will be the same battle, but it's every week in the Premier League. You face managers and teams that are well prepared. They can change tactics, they can change formations. You have to adapt. We can also do the same and preparing things there as well. So it's going to be very interesting.